Where is it all going? All right, here comes three parts. This is part one. The fact is, there are more questions out there being created by the daily twists and turns in all areas of our lives than there are answers, more so than ever. The pace everything is moving at just seems to keep accelerating almost by the day. What we each do is we try to make the best decision we can with the information at hand. And if we left it at that, we'd be fine. If we just looked at every decision we made as being the best we could have done at that moment in time with that information, we'd all be a lot happier. However, the human brain cannot help but prosecute our decisions of yesterday as new information arrives today. So if you're in a variable rate mortgage, congrats. It was a great decision and you've done well thus far along. Although now your brain may want to focus purely on the rate you could have had, set against the rate it looks like you're going to wind up with over the coming months. Now, keep in mind, rate was only ever one part of the decision. It wasn't the whole thing. The rate was the small bet, not the big bet. The critical factor in deciding whether to opt into a fixed rate mortgage currently from your variable or into a fixed rate mortgage even today if you're a new home buyer is really understanding the reality. And I know this isn't going to apply to you, I know, but the reality that 2 out of 3 Canadians break their mortgage early. They do. 65% at an average of 33 months. That's the stat that pops up with more than a few different lenders. No, you won't find it Googling it, but it's a real stat. It actually exists. And when people break a fixed rate mortgage, they trigger a prepayment penalty on average about 900% higher, 9 times higher than the penalty to break a variable rate mortgage. Not long ago, a client in our orbit here broke a 1.78 5-year fixed mortgage. They were just over a year in to their 1.78 5-year fixed, and the penalty was just under 8% of the balance. It was an $84,000 penalty on a $1.1 million mortgage. Had that individual been in a variable rate mortgage, the penalty at the time would have been closer to about $4,500. Today, it might be around $6,500. That's a massive difference. That's a massive bet. A quarter point, half point, full point of interest rate movement doesn't even begin to come close to adding up to that kind of dollar amount. So there's more to your mortgage than just the rate. There's a lot more to it. Do not call your lender and ask them whether or not you should be locking in or not. That is going to be an answer tilted in favor of the shareholders. Lenders, it's totally cool. I mean, just like take a step back and think about it. A lender is typically publicly traded. They're a corporation. They have shareholders, and a corporation is beholden to its shareholders to drive value, to increase profits. So it's not about you, the client. That's not the advice. Isn't going to be based on what might be the best thing for you. It's really going to be driven by what is best for the shareholders. So call your broker. Have a conversation with your mortgage broker and ask about prepayment penalty math, prepayment penalty risk. Ask if you're able to lock into a shorter term than a 5-year fix. The mortgages world is not binary, all right? It's not 5-year variable, 5-year fix, that's it. There are all different shades on the spectrum. There's a 1-year fix, 2-year fix, 3-year fix, 4-year fix. Some lenders will allow you to lock into as short as a 3-year fixed day one out of your variable rate mortgage. Others, they count down. So they've got you for 5 years, one way or the other. But if you're 2 years into a variable, you might have the option to take a 3-year fixed instead of 5 years, which will give you a little bit greater flexibility should you fall into that bucket of those 2 and 3 Canadians who wind up breaking their mortgage early. Like I say, I know that's not going to be you. You know, the joke, of course, is 10 out of 10 new mortgage holders will say, no way I'm breaking this mortgage. 10 out of 10 will say that. The gentleman with 1.78 5-year fix, no way I'm breaking that. Lifetime record low, oh my gosh. And then life changed in a big way. I myself, I will stay in my variable rate mortgage. And again, full disclosure, I am in a variable rate mortgage, not an adjustable rate mortgage, VERM, not an ARM. So what does that mean? It means my payment is static during this little ride. And so my blood pressure remains pretty static as well. And look, my strategy for debt management, cash flow, and investment planning may not mirror your own strategy. So again, call your broker and talk it out before you do anything at all. Mortgage world is littered with the unhappy people, literally in tears. I've experienced that. My office used to be in a lawyer's office, and I would see people in tears because they had locked into a fixed rate just months or weeks before selling a property, having to refinance a property, and they had no idea the size of that penalty that was coming. It's a little bit like a street hustle where you're staring at the right hand, you're staring at the right hand, and the right hand is of course the rate, but what's really happening is the left hand is reaching into your pocket and fleecing you. So take your eye off just the rate, all right? It's not just the rate, it's also this hand over here, the penalty, pay attention. I mean, I know this is moving a lot and the stuff's happening over here, but there's something else happening over here. Talk to your broker. Their focus is on you and what's going to be best for you, not on shareholder returns. All right, talk to your broker. Thank you.